What's up, Sagittarius, and thank you guys so much for tuning in. So guys, I apologize for the delay. I've been letting everybody know that I took some me time, some chill time in July, so I'm just playing catch up now. So I will be back to normal, posting things at their normal time by next month. But thank you guys for being so patient. Thank you for all of those that have been supportive during my, me time. And for anyone I upset, I'm sorry I needed time to myself. But I love y'all, and I hope that you guys have been well. I hope that your summers have been going very, very good. My son, he actually just started school, so that's why I'm finally getting back into my flow and just being able to work the way that I'm used to working. So let's see what is going on for you guys. Now, this will be for Sun, Moon, and Rising signs. Okay, and you guys are still going to get a mid-month reading, so you'll get those hopefully within the next few days. Sorry, see, I'm so like OCD when it comes to things. There we go, centered. All right, guys, so let's see what's going on. What is going on for the sign of Sagittarius, August 2018? Past, present, and future. Alright guys, so let's talk about this. So the energy that we're working with here, we have the Fool card. Alright, so this is a very beautiful energy to have. This is all about just being excited for something completely new that you're going into. For a lot of you, it's most likely something that you've never gotten into before, or with a person that you've never gotten into anything with before. But it's looking like wish fulfillment. Alright, so let's see what's going on, okay? Now, the first card we have for the past is the King of Swords. So you guys could have been dealing with a Libra, Aquarius, or Gemini. Or this could just be a very strong energy where somebody is going to be very focused. They're really going to have that boss mentality. And they're going to make sure that they are not being deterred by things that are distracting in their lives. They're very just focused on making things happen. And we have the Fool card here. So for some of you, maybe you were having a new start with a Libra, Aquarius, or Gemini. Or maybe there's just a new start where you really had to boss up and get into something completely new. You have the Six of Cups in the reverse. Okay, so for some of you, this is going to be a reconciliation with someone from the past. It doesn't have to be a lover. It could just be anyone that you were close to that you kind of fell off with. Or it could be realizing that someone belongs in the past. And although you've had good memories with them, it's time to let that go and maybe just take a new route in life. So for a lot of you, you could have definitely been releasing the burden and dropping something that just wasn't going to work for you. Okay. Now, you have the Two of Wands as your next card for the past. So a sense of you guys feeling lost, not knowing which path in life you want to go on, or being on a path that's not necessarily good for you. Why is this Two of Wands in the reverse here? You have the Hanged Man. So there's a sense of you feeling lost, but the good thing about all of this is that you recognize the fact that there's something you feel lost in, and you get to the point where you are not going to overexert yourself. You know that you're lost, but you're only gravitating towards things at this point that resonate within your soul, that feel good, that feel right. Alright, and we have the Justice card. So with the Justice card, this is some sort of karmic balance that's happening with you guys. Okay, so you could be coming out of something that was tough, or maybe getting into something new, but just dealing with the karmic side of it. But it's going to depend on who you were in the past, okay, prior to this. If you were put through a lot of pain, then I feel like this is you finding a way out, finding a way to heal. If you could have put another person through pain, then that's kind of a karmic situation coming back in, where now you may have to deal with something that maybe you put them through, okay? Now, at the end of all this, there's something that you guys do give up on in the past. Something just that just has too much adversity. All right, where you just don't want to stand your ground with this anymore. Something needs to be released. And we have the Ten of Cups. So with the Ten of Cups, you drop something and it really makes you happy. It's something that makes you feel a lot more stable, a lot more abundant. Okay, and with the Tower card, you guys dodged a bullet, okay, with the Tower card in the reverse. So a situation that could have gone bad, but you guys saw it and you guys got out of it. So I feel like for a lot of you, whatever it was that made you feel lost, you just let it go, okay. Yep, World card. So you let something go, you closed out a particular chapter, which is now enabling you to go towards something completely new, okay. Now in the present moment, guys, the first card here that we have is the Death card in the reverse. So some unfinished business that you could be dealing with, not being completely over a situation, something that has to be closed out that's not quite yet. And with the Hermit card in the reverse, whether it's you or another person involved, there's somebody here that just doesn't have all the facts on the situation, where they're trying to go about things in a wise way, but they don't have enough material or facts to even make an informed decision on this. Alright, but with the High Priestess in the reverse, whatever this is, it's unconventional, guys. It's something that isn't truly meant to be in your life. It's not something that's going to help you to evolve to your higher self. And, you know, I've said it to you guys in the past where for spiritual awakenings and just to go on a path where we're listening to our soul as opposed to our ego, we have to go through pain. You know, there's no other way to come by that awakeness without pain. But there are times in our life where the pains, you know, it's taught us what it needed to, but now it's time to release it. So there's people that they really just drag out the pain process because they have a problem just cutting off the source of the pain. So that's what you could have been through. Okay, but it's something that has ran its course, and it's something that you shouldn't be pained over anymore. For some of you, I see you possibly becoming single. Okay. I'm sorry, guys. Like, I feel like I'm going to sneeze, and I'm just trying to hold it because my sneezes are very obnoxious. But in the middle of the entire reading, for the present moment, we have the Three of Wands. So a part of your life that you need to turn your back on in order to find expansion, in order to go towards something new. And we have the Sun card. All right, so you're going towards something that's going to be very bright, very abundant, very good for you. All right, and you're building. So I see building, I see expansion, and you guys are moving forward in a very quick way. You have the Chariot. Wow, 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 wow. Okay, so with all these cards here, you have the Ace of Swords, you have the Four of Wands, you have the Chariot. So there's something that was detrimental to your life that at this point you're like, you know what, I have to cut this out. I need a new start. So you cut out something that was detrimental. For some of you, it could have been an air energy person. Okay, but you're focused, and because you have this focus, you're building something where you're going to expand in a huge way. And I love that because I've really been looking at these readings differently, because the center card to me, it connects to every single card. So that, you know, despite the energy that we get at the bottom of the deck, this is just the energy for everything. So despite any turmoil, you guys are building something huge. All right, so you still have something that's really going strong for you. And you have the Empress card. So, you know, this is a very beautiful beginning that you're really willing to tend to. You know, this is the goddess of fertility. For some of you, maybe it's a pregnancy. Okay? But definitely something new. Something that you're going to put hard work into. Something that you're going to invest your time into. Alright? And you have the Moon card in the reverse. So there's that awakening. There's that clarity. There's that aha moment. Okay? And you have the Lover's card in the reverse. So something had to be dropped for you to do this. For some, yeah, it'll be literally a lover that you're dropping. For others, this doesn't always have to be intimate. It could be a friend. It could be a cousin. It could be a boss, a coworker. But something that was once very important to you that now you have to let it go. But because you let it go, expansion. Okay? That's awesome. For a lot of you, you could be very unhappy with what you have to let go of, but I really see this as something where I want you guys to really see the bigger picture. try to look past any pain that you could be feeling and say, okay, if I wasn't in this sort of pain, where could this potentially lead me to? And let that be excitement for you. Let that be something that helps you to get through whatever you're going through. All right? We never want to compromise our future because of a feeling that we're feeling in the moment that we know is going to pass. We can get, over anything. Time heals all wounds. So this is definitely something that I see as big for you guys, and a really strong transition in your life where you're going towards something that's going to be a lot more solid. All right, now moving forward, the first card that we have for the future is a Queen of Wands in the reverse. Okay, so regardless of whether you're a male or a female, there is something that could kind of throw you off, where it kind of puts you into diva mode, where you're just passionately upset towards a situation or a person. Okay, the Temperance card in the reverse fell out, so something that just makes your soul very uneasy. And we have the World card. So whatever chapter you guys are ending in your life, I don't think it's something that we can just turn the light off and walk out of the room and never walk back in again. This is something that is probably going to be difficult for you, something that maybe you've dealt with for a while. And, in the process of letting it go, you will be going through it. Okay, I'm not going to lie to you about that. But the most beautiful thing about the World card is that, yes, you're ending a cycle, but it means that in the future something amazing is coming in. Something, if you had to write a book on your life, this would be a new chapter within itself. It's worthy of that chapter title. It's worthy of, pages being written about this new journey that you're going into. So this is going to be something solid. Just let yourself deal with whatever it is that you have to release in the process. We have the Karma card upright in this deck. This is the Judgment card. So you're making the right call. Even though it could be a little bit difficult for you, you are making the right call. But the most beautiful things in life come from discomfort. Okay? I think that's the only way we can truly grow, if we put ourselves in a place where we're kind of, have our back against the wall. So the next card that you guys have for the future is a Ten of Swords. Some sort of harsh ending, somebody possibly feeling betrayed, something that could end abruptly. Why is this Ten of Swords here? The Karma card upright. All right, so that Judgment card again. So you feel very betrayed, or maybe someone feels very betrayed by you. But now any sort of anxiety or worry that you had towards something is going away. For some of you, maybe it's someone else feeling betrayed by you because it's not something that you're losing sleep over. Okay? Or maybe you just get to that point, because we all have that breaking point where we can only deal with a person or a situation for so long. For some of you, I feel a sense of numbness. Have you guys ever been with a person that they have hurt you so many times that, maybe a year, 2, 3 years in, or even longer than that, or however long it takes you to get to this point, you hear something really foul, like, oh, guess what, I heard that your boyfriend was making out with this chick, behind the I don't know, behind the locker room. And it's kind of like, oh, are they? Okay. Because you've been hurt so much that maybe you're at a point where you just can't be hurt anymore. It's like you've literally destroyed me in any way that you could have. So there could be a sense of just releasing and just saying, you know what? This is not my problem to deal with anymore. Okay? Whether it's coming from your end or someone else's end towards you. So there's definitely going to be a sense of imbalance that you feel as you're transitioning out of something that just wasn't working for you. But slow and steady, guys. Slow and steady will win this race. For some of you, maybe it's a Taurus, Virgo, or Capricorn that you stopped talking to, or maybe something that you are moving towards financially that doesn't work out, that you have to walk away from. We have the Page of Cups in the reverse. So you're a bit imbalanced about someone that stops talking to you, or someone that you stop talking to, or something that just isn't moving forward anymore. And you have the Queen of Cups in the reverse. So somebody here is going to feel emotionally unstable at the very least. But this is what you guys have. You have the King of Pentacles, you have the Four of Wands, and you have the Ace of Swords. Cutting out bullshit in order to have a new start where you're going to be very stable. If this has to do with your finances, with the King of Pentacles, this is the strongest financial figure in the entire deck. When you're talking about money, this is exactly who you want to see in your reading. Alright, so you could really be going towards something that's very strong, or maybe this has to do with the Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, but the come up is going to be real for you guys, okay? It's just something that you're going to have a hard time moving away from. For some of you, maybe it's a Libra, Aquarius, or Gemini, or maybe this is just the energy that you have, okay? Taking that Knight of Swords energy where it's like, look, if there's anything that's going to be detrimental to my life right now, it cannot be in my life. I have to focus. I got shit I got to do. Alright, so you guys are going towards something huge, something very, very big. There's just going to be discomfort with what has to be released in order to ensure that this happens. Okay, because I don't see this happening with whatever it is that you guys have to release. I see that being a blockage to whatever it is that's coming your way. Okay, guys, so I'm using Oracle of Visions, Oracle deck, to give you some guidance. Let's see where this is going. What guidance does the sign of Sagittarius need for August 2018? Let me just, these cards are brand new, guys, but they're so beautiful. So let's see what comes out. Okay. Oh, beautiful. What does this mean? Alright, so for anyone into numerology, sorry, I'm just like taking it in because I'm so obsessed with this artist. But number 23, for anyone who's into numerology. Okay, so just a very, very beautiful image here. Alright, so let's see what this means. I have not pulled this card before, but I'm so drawn to it. Okay. Providing shelter. Home is a shelter from storms, all sorts of storms. Our relationship with the natural world is at its lowest ebb, and as humans, we are becoming increasingly detached. Our physical lives may have been made more comfortable by our technical advances, but our spiritual lives may be diminished. A woman transforms her body with a symbolic tree, as she offers support and safety to nature. The sincerity of her offer is accepted and returned with complete trust. A warm glow is generated from that interaction. In the distance, a unicorn notices and looks on approvingly, but ironically, there is a sad poignancy in his attention. Is it that this magical creature has seen so few of such acts? Despite the overall trend, there is hope in that we are at least aware of our damaging imprint, and an increasing acknowledgement and desire to redress the imbalances. Wow, guys. This is very, very powerful. You know, I have the song Man in the Mirror in my head right now, just looking at this, but there is a huge change that's coming into your life where you're really going to be able to step up in such a powerful way. But before you come into this change, there's really that need to be honest with yourself, to look in the mirror and say, okay, with who I am as a person right now, I always think this is the best way to look at it, but if I had to date myself, what would I absolutely hate? What would I absolutely adore? This is going to be a time where you have to be very honest and say, okay, what is out there in this world that is not working for me? And what am I putting out that isn't necessarily a good thing? Okay, we always want to, you know, point the finger and blame other people for our shortcomings. Okay, but the truth of the matter is that most of the time we're just as responsible for our shitty situations that we attract into our lives, because there was something about us at that time that attracted a shitty person, or that attracted a terrible job, or that attracted, you know, an awful boss that we have to deal with. Okay, down to the valet person who's going to, you know, drive your car while you go to work. Down to that person, that is someone who you're going to attract into your life. And I think once we realize how powerful our energies are and how it really affects the people around us and just us within ourselves, you know, that's when things start to work in a better way. So be honest with yourself. Are you putting out bad in this world? If, you know, a group of people collectively had to be in a room with you, okay, and they were asked a few hours later when they left, you know, how do you feel after leaving, you know, the Sagittarius' house? Do you feel good? Do you feel inspired? Do you feel like you can take on a new project? Or are you questioning your life? You know, do you feel a little down? Okay, and we have to be very conscious of that. So right now, you guys have the chance of a complete new start, but you really want to go about things in the right way. The way you begin anything sets the precedent for how it's going to end or how it's going to continue. Okay, I told this story before. I hope it wasn't to you guys so that I'm not repeating myself. But a few years ago, and I won't use any names here, just an example of how our energy can be so powerful. So a few years ago, I had two friends that did not know each other that I had invited to my house it was like some sort of business that I was doing at the time. And so we were talking about it, and you know, they ended up leaving, and I'm like, you know what? Because I lived with my parents at the time. I was like, you know, thank you for coming. Y'all want to smoke a blunt after? Let's go smoke a blunt. So I was like, just give me like 15-20 minutes. Let me like say goodnight to my parents, and then I'll meet you outside. Don't judge me. I've had fun in my life, okay? So I go out, and they had kind of been alone for a while, and they ended up just like really connecting. Okay, but the bad part was that one of them was married. The other part was that another one was in a relationship. Okay, so I'm just like, okay, I feel guilty that I even, you know, was the source of this interaction happening. So whatever, I go home later that night, and I end up going out with one of the people that, you know, was there that night. So we're out, we're going boating and stuff, and this person says to me, hey, would it bother you if I spoke to that other person, you know, in a romantic way? I was like, I don't know why the hell you're asking me for permission. Why don't you ask this person's wife and see how she feels? And she was like, what? What are you talking about? And so it was just a disaster from the start, but they just felt that they had this very undeniable attraction towards one another. And it's like, you know, I never felt this way. It's just like, this is my soul. This is my heart. So, you know, fast forward into the future, it was a fucking disaster. You know, they both ended up getting out of their situations, but they thought that this was going to be so good, that this was going to be that pivot in their life, that it was going to be a change. But neither of them took the time to think about, okay, where am I in life right now? Is this the best move for me? Because when you're at a very low point in your life and you meet someone, or you're attracted or gravitating towards something, you have to ask yourself why. Okay, so they failed to do that, and me too. I was trying to understand it, so I spoke to someone that I do see as like a spiritual counselor to me, and I was like, you know, I'm just trying to understand how this happened. And what she told me, she was like, Lissette, it's simple. And I'm like, what is it? And she was like, their demons were attracted to one another. They were both hooked on drugs. They were both drinking too much. They were both, you know, going through really crazy situations where they weren't happy. So they felt that they found that within each other, not knowing that they gravitated towards one another because of how unstable both of them were. So their demons looked at each other and said, okay, well, this is going to be easy because you're going through the same thing that I'm going through. But when you have something that's super shitty and you have another thing that's super shitty and you put it together, it's just a really, really shitty thing. So, it got to the point where I just felt bad about my interaction with it, okay, and I just had to remove myself completely, and I'm just like, look, y'all do what you gotta do, but I'm not part of this. This is not something I condone. You know, I'm not your parent, so I can't tell you what to do or what not to do, but this is a really shitty thing, and you guys are really shitty people for doing this. And that is really a situation that I'm so happy I was able to see, because it made me question everything in my life. Okay, not too long ago, I had to let go of a friend, and it wasn't for anything that they necessarily did to me that was like bad. It's just a lot of petty little things that was, you know, kind of built up in me as a Taurus. I won't say anything to you at first, but after you do something to me 5, 6, 7, 8 times, that's when I'll kind of explode, and you'll be like, oh my god, you're overreacting. And it's not that I'm overreacting, this is just pent up. So I had to let this person go, and they you know, definitely felt a type of way. And they're like, you know what, you shouldn't have let me go. Like, I met you when you were at your worst. And now you have all this stuff, and now you want to drop me? And I'm like, oh, that's not the best argument. That says a lot, where we met each other at each other's worst. Okay? So now we're just growing as different people. And I know the energies I need to be around, and I know what I need to do. And it's not that, you know, I don't want to be around people who aren't doing as well. It has nothing to do with that. What I look at is, are you even trying to do better? Are you trying to get yourself out of this hole? Okay? And this person was just reckless. They were very irresponsible. This is someone that I saw blow like thousands of dollars in one weekend and then ask someone else to pay their rent because they didn't have the money. So it's just like decisions like that. I can't be around people that are reckless like that. So this is going to be a situation where you really have to look at yourself and say, okay, who am I as a person at this point? And what am I going to attract by walking out of my house tomorrow? Okay, so anything that you want in life, whether it's a new career, whether it's a new lover, whether, you know, it's that new house, I don't care what it is. You just have to reassess yourself. Okay, am I the best I could be? When I see people who are going through something toxic, when I see someone who's really hurt and they say, oh, I just want to find new love, something to get me over this, I'm like, you're not going to find anything else but heartache if you go looking for it right now. Heal. Find a way to love yourself by being alone. Find a way to really embrace this life and really embrace yourself and your spirituality. And when you go out and you're not focused on love and it's not your primary thing to look for, you're going to find the person you're going to marry. You're going to find your soulmate. But it's just, if you want something in life, you have to be it. All right? Even if it's wealth and you don't have it yet, dress the part. Okay? Buy yourself something that looks nice, and you don't have to pay, you know, an arm and a leg for it. Go to a store like Ross or Burlington Coat Factory or Marshall's, okay? Just a huge, like, convenience store where you can, not convenience store, but you know what I'm saying. These huge stores that sell it for cheap, and just play the part. Because if you keep putting yourself in that sort of atmosphere and you keep putting yourself out there like that, the universe will say, okay, that's what this person wants, and they're doing their best to attract it by going out in that way, so let me give more of it. Okay? And when people see you a certain way, they will treat you a certain way. Okay? So you really just have to make sure that you guys are going about life honestly, and always ask yourself, you know, the thing that I'm doing to this person, if that was done to me, how would I feel? So really just a sense of finding that unity within you and just everyone in life. And I'll leave you guys off with, you know, something someone told me that also really changed my life. So I had a lady one time that I met at some sort of spiritual retreat that I did, and she looked me in the eyes and she said, look, when you look into my eyes, what do you see? And I kept giving her all these answers, but it wasn't the answer that she wanted to hear. She was like, Lissette, when you look into my eyes, always find yourself, and do that when you look at everybody else. We're all going through a struggle. We're all going through some sort of pain. We're all overcoming, you know, something dark. Nobody is, you know, exempt from that. We all deal with it. So go out with that. And that's why I'm so kind to people. Everyone that I meet, that, you know, when I go out, whether it's a cashier, you know, a garbage man, I don't care. I am going to give you the utmost respect, because I don't know if that's a conversation that can make you feel lighter. What if that person was, you know, thinking to commit suicide that night? What if they were thinking of going down a really dark path? But that little conversation, that 2 minutes that we spoke to each other, that meant nothing to me, that could be what gets them through it. Okay? So just be kind and make sure that you're putting out whatever it is that you want in this world. Okay? So Sagittarius, guys, thank you so much for your support, for your likes, for your subscriptions. If you guys want to follow my Instagram, it is highvibrations44. Okay? Now, in regards to personal readings, if you guys are looking to get one, my website is below. And right now, guys, the wait for these readings is anywhere from 3 to 4 weeks. Okay? Only because I'm still getting caught up, and I just want to be realistic, because before, I was just putting too much on my plate where I'd have to work like 12 hours a day, and that's just really not something I want to do. So I really just want to kind of slow down until I get caught up. But around September, it should be back to the normal wait. But my suggestion, if you want a reading, because a lot of people say, oh, email me when you're not busy. I'm like, no, just buy it now and hold your spot. Okay, so that's my suggestion, so hold your spot. But if you guys do need to hear from me very, very quickly, then I do offer emergency readings. So with that, I get it out to you in about 24 hours. You know, the longest you'll ever wait is probably like 2 days at most, but you hear from me like that. Okay, I also have an app called Instant Go, or I'm on an app called Instant Go. It's only for iPhone users now. If that does change, I will let you guys know. But the link is in the description below, and it's basically same day answers. So you guys could ask me anything on that app. I'll shuffle the cards, I'll send you a response through text, and bada bing, bada boom, okay? So for that, I usually respond within a day or two as well, okay, at most. So I love y'all. Thank you for keeping it real. I hope that you guys are having an amazing summer, and just know that I will be coming out with mid-month and love readings for this month. And then by September, let's all hope and pray that Lissette gets her shit together. Love y'all. Take care.